Good morning, everyone. Brian here with BMK Retro Gaming. This morning I have a review for you guys of the Atari 7800 original library game, Centipede. Now, it was developed in the 83-84 period originally, but due to the sale of Atari to Jack Tramiel in 84, along with him having everything being put under review and the disputes that were going to be worked out in the meantime, it wouldn't be re-released as part of the 7800's original library launch titles, I believe it was, until about 86. Excuse me a moment. Okay, almost forgot to get me something to keep that dry mouth out. Anyway, it was developed primarily by Ed Logg and Donna Bailey, which, both due to her influence and the fact that it was part of the general direction that they wanted the game to be going anyway, Centipede ended up having a fair degree of effort put into attracting female gamers, which might seem unusual because bugs are kind of creepy and it's Centipede, but it actually worked pretty well. And Centipede was fairly successful, which we'll talk about a bit more later. Anyway, I have my loose copy of the game, and you guys have to forgive me if me or this seems just a bit off this morning, since my phone's screen on that side is somewhat, it's very badly cracked, and I'm having to record with the other side until I receive a replacement, which I've already ordered. Hopefully that won't take too terribly much longer, maybe one more video, if not two, and I'll be recording with a new model and all that. But anyway, I'm not seeing what my phone is seeing right now, so. Anyway, this is my loose copy of the game. I hope I'm managing to avoid the glare on it some. Don't know if I can or can't. Anyway, it's got pretty nice box art for being, label art for being in black and white. And it does say here, copyright 86. It's just a loose copy, and it's what you would consider a common game for the console, pretty much, as it was in many others. As a matter of fact, I have a second copy here, which, well, my good friend Mr. Scott Gold just got an Atari 7800 himself, along with 2 games, and, well, my local game exchange retailer still had 3 duplicate copies of games he doesn't have yet, which I already do have. They'd be duplicates for me, but I went ahead and bought them yesterday, tested them, and they're going to be on their way to him shortly, with all that he has contributed to my channel and my channel's collection and my own collection. Sending a few Atari 7800 library games down to a friend who's been that generous is not really a big deal. Let's see, besides this one, I believe I've got him coming Galaga and Touchdown Football too, so all good games, all tested and working. So Scott, be keeping an eye out for that, as I should be getting them mailed off today or tomorrow. Anyway, without too much further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get us set up with my Atari 7800, and we're going to take a look at some Centipede gameplay. Okay, so here we go. One player, I'm going to go for novice because, well, it's probably the easiest way to go, and it's simple enough. You use your joystick to move and your fire button to fire. Hold it for rapid fire. Spider, who's worth 300 at a distance, 600 medium range, and 900 close range. You get an extra life for every 12,000 points scored. And being beyond the Centipede and Spider, you have the Flea and the Scorpion to worry about. talking about the Scorpion before, about the third wave. And of course you get 100 points for getting a Centipede head, and 10 points for each body segment you get rid of. Ooh, let's leave. Tough one. Centipede is actually one of my more favorite fixed shooter genre games, so it's definitely worth a good place when you have the opportunity. In fact, it's a very big, good classic. Centipede was about Atari's 11th best-selling game ever, and in 1982, 1983, it sold about 1.5 million copies, though not quite. So it was one of Atari's top four games that year. So there's a reason why it has a pretty good reputation on that. Can't go. Am I talking to you guys? I got overwhelmed. Oh, Fleas are worth 200 points too, and the Scorpions are worth about 1,000. I like how the graphics and sounds are here. It may still have the Atari VCS 2600 sounds, which is not so bad, but in this case that's actually fairly close to the arcade cabinet original as I understand it, so they could have done worse. In other words, these sounds, sound effects, are about what you'd be expecting in general. They usually get about 4 lives, or 4 ones, and you can have up to 6 by earning extra lives, so. And usually, if I were more focused and not so focused on doing this, I'd likely have already gotten to the point where I'd have 1 or 2 more and would be 30,000 point or better range. It's the price I pay for deciding to record for you guys. Not a big deal. Okay, the Scorpion is much faster, which kind of should say pretty easily that the difficulty has been increasing. Spider. One of the things about Centipede you have to remember about the spider is it's there, besides for what extra you can get in points from it, it's also there as primarily a distraction. So don't worry about the spider too much. And there's another extra life. And I'm going to end up dragging this video out for. Kind of a good question. Give me just a moment to pause the game while I check on something. Okay. Before I sip my drink. God, that's expired. Okay, I should have seen that coming. No! The poison mushrooms obviously will make these Centipede come straight for a dive bomb at you. Every bit of the Centipede, every segment, the head, and if it has more than one head, so you want to be on the lookout for him on that one. Again, the graphics and sounds here are pretty good. Or so I've always thought so. I mean, this at least looks, I guess you could say that it's probably of the three ports for Atari's classic consoles. This one is probably about the closest to arcade perfect, but not quite. It does have about the look to it, and the sounds aren't too far off. So Atari actually did a very good job with this one. Not that I would knock either the Atari VCS 2600 or Atari 5200 ports either, as they are both excellent in their own rights and sold enough copies for themselves as to say that they were both very good ports of the game and very good conversions of its gameplay. And there I go again, killing myself by not paying attention. 57,093 points. I could have done worse. And I think you guys get the idea with the gameplay for now, so that's enough of that. Okay, hopefully I'm pretty well back into focus here, at least well enough that you guys can see me clearly. Don't know for sure. Having to reposition again. I apologize. New phone model is already on the way, and hopefully this won't be going back into the field testing and trial and error days for too much. Anyhow, that was Centipede, and 1986 Atari 7800 original library game by Ed Logg and Donna Bailey. Again, it's very good. I think I did a pretty good job of scoring with it right there. Not my best though. And well, as I was saying while recording the video's gameplay, it was a very successful game. Here in the U.S. alone, it sold, the Atari VCS 2600 port sold about, not quite 1.5 million copies, but close. And was, for 1982, Atari's one of Atari's top 4 best-selling games for the year, and was also ended up being Atari's 11th overall best-selling game of all time. So it is a very respectable, good game, and fortunately for you guys, I've got everything. I even have a copy of the Intellivision Centipede port, so pretty much every console I have and have up and running here is going to get a review at some point. I know it was even released for the 8-bit Atari 8-bit computer line, which would mean I can play one for the Zegs when I get working. I have a copy for the 5200, so we're going to run the whole gamut of Centipede after a while. So, but I figured the 7800 would be a good place to start with, especially since I had it coming up, and it was one of 2 games I have remaining. I do have more Atari 7800 original library games being stocked and coming in. In fact, I picked up one yesterday, which you guys will find out about in due time. One moment. Almost forgot about something. Anyway, my preferred YouTubers, Phil, the No Square Gamer, Brian Puddin with Brian's Man Cave, Patman QC, History of Arcade Game Documentaries, which he does a documentary-style series, and he goes over the full history of Centipede as a game, including all the ports, which would see this one in there too. And let's see, Retro Comparisons, which I believe they compare and contrast the 3 different ports of from Atari consoles of the game. The Crow Continuum continued. The Crow Continuum continued. Ugh, with my allergies and all, I can't get out this morning. And interestingly enough, even Intellivision Dude has one on this one. Intellivision Dude, I always thought you did mostly just Intellivision, but he's throwing in an Atari 7800 game. I guess you know a guy has to diversify some. Anyway, they all have nice videos on this game. And so I will leave links to all of those. And also go ahead and leave y'all a link to the Wikipedia article, which there is one on it. And it's actually fairly informative. If you enjoy my channel's content, please like, share, and subscribe. And don't hesitate to leave any questions, comments, or suggestions down in the comments section below. You guys take care, have a great morning, and I will see you again in my next video.